tie campaign? Is it an anti-bullying strategy, or is it an attempt by the LGBT campaigning groups to tighten their grip on Scottish education? Is it time for inclusive education, or to borrow a phrase from Reverend David Robertson, is it time to indoctrinate everyone? So this is a highly contentious issue, and we're going to watch some excerpts from the Holyrood debate. We're going to see the MSPs lock horns in the battle of ideas, Holyrood style. So sit back and watch the sparks fly.
On motion 3945 in the name of Monica Lennon, on time for inclusive education, the tie campaign.
I absolutely love it, and I want to end by paying tribute to the tie campaign.
I want to thank Monica Lennon for her lovely speech, and I'm hugely supportive.
It has been a privilege to witness their drive and vision firsthand.
Presiding Officer, sometimes there comes a campaign which symbolises the very essence of what the Scottish Parliament was actually designed for.
And it's a privilege to take part in a high-quality debate.
The tie campaign are leading with courage. I'd also like to thank Jordan and Liam.
I'm very pleased and proud to have put my name to their pledge.
The tie campaign is doing an amazing job.
So I want to reiterate this government's support for the aims of the campaign.
I'd like to chip into the debate now. Well, to be honest, it's not chipping into the debate, it's creating the debate, because there hasn't been a debate so far. There's been storytelling, virtue signalling, fawning over the founders of the campaign, but no dissent, no genuine criticism of the philosophy behind it. Out of the MSPs, 95% waved the rainbow flag and 5% waved the white flag. So let's start the debate. Well, bullying is uncontroversial. Schools need to tackle bullying. Some kids have got an unpleasant streak and they'll take pleasure in causing unhappiness and pain towards other kids. And they need to be changed. They need to be trained, taught to leave that sort of behaviour behind, and their victims need to be protected. Right, no controversy there at all. But the tie campaign's got another element as well that's explicitly discussed in their documentation, and that's changing attitudes. And what they mean by that is quite obvious. They want all school children to accept their philosophy of sexuality and gender. They want all school children to accept the homosexual sex as morally acceptable, bisexualism, transgenderism, the positive thing, etc., etc. That's what they say is vital to combat bullying in schools, but that's just not true. Let's think of a couple of examples. Let's say you've got a Muslim child who's been bullied because they're a Muslim. What's the answer to that? Is the answer that you have to persuade all the children in the school that Islam is a fine religion and Muhammad was a prophet and it's all admirable and excellent? Not at all. You can have a very negative view of Islam and see all sorts of problems with it, but still treat Muslims perfectly respectfully and with civility. Another example, I heard a case a few weeks ago about a boy at primary school who'd been bullied because he said he supported Donald Trump. So what's the solution to that? Do you have to persuade the whole primary school that Donald Trump is a great president of the United States and admirable in every way? Not at all. You can think Donald Trump's a complete idiot and yet still treat his supporters with civility and respect. The solution to bullying of LGBT kids in school is not to persuade all children that the teachings of the mainstream Christian churches are wrong. The problem isn't children who believe that heterosexual marriage is the only context for sexual relations. The problem is kids with a nasty streak who will just take pleasure in having a go at people, and that's the issue that needs dealing with. And that's been used as a pretext to promote a wider philosophy of sexuality and gender to all school children.
And all young people should learn about the variety and the validity of all relationships. That's how we tackle stigma and hatred. That's how we show that every young person that they are valued.
No, it isn't. He's claiming here that all sexual relationships are valid. So I assume that would include unmarried couples, homosexual relationships, adulterous affairs, incestuous sex, polyamorous relationships, one-night stand. And he says that needs teaching to all young people. Now that's just clear-cut indoctrination. And he's saying that's the only way to support young people. Now I think sexuality is positive in some contexts, but when it's expressed in other contexts, then it's not positive for the people involved. So I would offer advice based on what I think is the best for young people, seeking their well-being. But he's completely unwilling to accept that. The only way to support young people, the only way to make them feel valued, is to promote his ideology. And that's staggeringly arrogant.
But it is my hope that we can positively engage with schools of all faiths and of none, so that we win this argument.
We won't be afraid to tackle those who preach ignorance and intolerance.
Translation: Catholic schools will be knocked into line. Those who preach ignorance and intolerance, I wonder who they could be. That will be people who hold beliefs similar to those of the mainstream Christian churches.
To know that a teacher in your school is not going to judge you for saying who you are.
Translation: All kids must know that all teachers agree with Stonewall and disagree with the Catholic Church. If you disagree with the state philosophy of sexuality and gender, then you can't be a teacher. That's what she's saying. And how many MSPs stand up and speak out about that? 0. If you care about freedom of thought for teachers and don't want children indoctrinated into the state's radical philosophy of sexuality and gender, you should join us in opposing the Thai campaign.